What up, guys? Another Adonis review, and today we will be discussing Dead Island 2. Now, this game is an oddity. It is a game that the original came out around 2011. Now, when the first one came out, it was a pretty graphically enhanced game. It did have that going for it. It looked fantastic. And a few years later, when they announced the second one, it looked like it was going to be overshadowed by Dying Light, which essentially kind of had also upgraded graphics, but it added the ability to do parkour, which was like a neat ability, along with the fact that it seemed to be a very popular fad at the time that was growing. So it was really using that power to boost its popularity. Irregardless, it was still a following of people who liked the first one and were willing to, and excited to see how the second one was going to come. And then it disappeared into the abyss, essentially with no real foresight of it ever going to actually come out, as many games like that do. Surprise, surprise, out of nowhere, it finally did come out. And honestly, with games that initially are planned or begin being worked on, years in the past and then they come out now, I personally have a pretty negative outlook on it, just because I feel like every core mechanic and everything that's built off of is essentially built off of, the general time frame of when they started working on it. And then by the time it comes out, there's been so many enhanced games past that point that it falls in the waistline. But I do feel like this game actually does provide a great game for what it's given. Honestly, I feel like it has a place with the games today. I mean, even comparing it to Dying Light 2 to this, I'd say Dying Light 2 might have more, in general, possible worth, I don't know, gameplay wise, and maybe you'll get more time out of it. But I think out of presentation, graphically, style, that this game wins when I compete versus both in my mind of which one's better. Dead Island 2 takes the cake. I think it's a better game, and I think there's a lot of detail that goes into it that I appreciate. So we'll quickly go over it so you can know what to expect and you can figure out if it's worth it in your eyes. So, first off, Dead Island 2 came out in April of this year, so it's currently 4 years old. It is typically very tough to find this game on sale as of the moment. If you're lucky, you can get it for like $50, but you're not likely to find it much cheaper than that, which is surprising because you would think a game, again, with this stigma to it that it came, originally announced years ago and it came out of nowhere, you think it would be really hard to sell it, but apparently they know what they made and they like it, so they backed it. So be aware of that. Now, beyond that point, there is a few things you need to know about this game. Essentially, it is more of a combat weapon type of game where everything comes down to the fact that you will be using usually melee weapons. They do give you guns, machine guns, shotguns, all that type of stuff. But they do make ammo very sparingly. I mean, you can craft it and whatnot, but it does run out. So, I think it's a pretty well-balanced game. I mean, it allows you to use guns if you want. But you can't really become over-dependent on it. And you don't really want to, which I like. In the first game, I felt like the weapon part of it was annoying, especially because I was really into first-person shooters at the time. And the fact that the weapons break, which they do in this game, they have a durability and they'll break over a certain amount of time. So that really upset me and made me feel, well, at least in the first game, like I was always going to be in constant danger. But in this game, to be truthful about it, you get plenty of weapons, and even with the durability, they hardly ever break. So, with that being said, I mean, honestly, I'm in situations where I wish my weapons would break more because I get so many better weapons along the route that I'm excited to try them. But it's hard for me to let go of weapons that I haven't broken yet or haven't broken on my side. So I'm constantly left with having to get rid of weapons that I haven't fully used to try the new weapon that I want to use. So with that being said, the different types of melee weapons they give you a wide variety of different levels of strength. You can make them durable. If you really like a weapon, you can, fix them up, using scraps, so you don't have to lose a weapon if you have a favorite. You can also upgrade a weapon to a certain level strength, so, it can follow along with you as well. So, essentially, you never have to lose a favorite weapon if you have one. But like I said, you get so many different varieties of weapons constantly being shoved at you that you want to try out and see how they work and see which weapon's best. It's never really an issue of now having a weapon to defend yourself at a certain time. And that goes along with the difficulty. I feel like the difficulty is really well done. There is times with, having all these weapons, the different powers and guns, that you sometimes feel like, like you're well stocked to take on whoever you want. But if you stay in an area too long, you can easily find yourself overridden by too many zombies, and it will become very hectic where you just realize you need to cut your losses and leave, or else you're going to be in an endless fight. This game really focuses on the fact that you don't want to go to an area and just clear it of every zombie and, then feel happy because you'll, never have to face a zombie again when you come back. There will always be zombies that will be in an area regardless of what you do. They just keep coming. So if you don't really have to stay in an area, don't. Unless you just want to try out a new weapon you have and kill people, there's not really any importance in clearing every area to its last zombie, because they will be back always. So, but again, there's never ever a time either where you feel the fear of, that if there's zombies there, you don't take care of them, then you'll be trapped. You can easily run past them. They are slow most of the times. There are specialty zombies that are buffer and bigger and whatnot, but overall, it's very well evened out. It's difficult when it's supposed to be difficult, and it gives you the variety and the ease to feel a powerful person, when you need to. But the main thing I really like about this game is the aesthetics. They did a great job in this game. This game is divided into a few different areas that you fast travel to, and each area is a staple, area in California, like Venice Beach, Beverly Hills, like the movie studios, places like that, like well-known places. And I've been to, let's say, like Venice Beach and places like that, and as far as my memory goes, it's a pretty well representation of it. Like, I remember walking in exact places and to the point. If you've ever been to Venice Beach before and you remember well, play this game, go to Venice Beach, and tell me you don't remember a place that you've been to or eaten at, or a place that you walked on the beach that you don't recall there. It is exact. And that's one of the things. The detail is so fine and exact in this game that you have to appreciate it. Like, everything has such immaculate detail, and that's one of the things I enjoy most about it. The graphics look great, the weaponry is great, the detail is great, the game looks great. Again, like Venice Beach, the shops in Venice Beach, the safes, they have a good amount of story missions, they have a good amount of side missions, and they have a good amount of, like, these kind of, like, finders, keepers missions, or search missions, where you kind of have to follow these notes and read clues and whatnot to kind of find where you need to go, which, overall is kind of fun. Is there more side missions? Do I wish there was a little bit more variety? I do. I wish this game, packed another 10 hours worth of side content missions in it. But overall, I'd say I played easily 30 to 40 hours already of it. Maybe 30 hours, and I still have plenty of side content to still do, little things. I mean, even like a lot of like some many side content that they have, like I said, is like finding safes, and you have to find the key to the safe. And again, that's not very unique in mission designing, so that's where it could be improved upon. But even something like finding a key to a safe is the way they designed it is kind of unique and cool. So it's not as boring as it could be based off the fact that they didn't make it as unique of a mission as it could be. So overall, I think this game is great. I think it's definitely worth a play if you enjoy it. And the thing I enjoy most about it is that you can play this whole game with someone else. It is a game that entirely can be played with another person, which is how I played it, and that's the best part of it. They stay with you, they get their own weapons, all loot is divided separately, so if they have loot, so you don't ever have to fight over loot, which is nice. They get their own special weapon, you get your own special weapons when they drop off at something, and if there's ever a fight, so you can always appreciate that. So it's a great game to play with somebody else. It's impressive graphics. I don't honestly really have that many negatives to say, other than the fact, like I said, the side missions could be more unique. I think that's the biggest negative I can really think of. And weapons could break a little bit easier, so you get to use new weapons every now and then. But beyond that, it's a pretty good game. I don't think it's worth the $50 price tag, though. It's pretty expensive. But I say this game, if you have a good friend to play with, it gets down to like $30. I think it's a fair price to pay, and I think it's worth the play at that point. So, if you end up getting it, give it a try, and you like it, let me know. If you end up playing, you don't like it, let me know so I can see why you didn't like it. I'd love to hear what might have upset you that you might have disagreed with. Thanks, guys. Later.